When you look online, it can feel like everyone is smashing it. Post about monthly revenue, new followers, but starting a business is stressful and risky. More fail than succeed. And in my opinion, not everybody is cut out to be an entrepreneur or business owner. Approximately 20% of small businesses fail within the first year and 50% fail to make it to 5 years. If you want your business to succeed, it's important to understand these risks so you can try and avoid them yourself. Here's our views on why most businesses fail.
I mean, there have been many failed because they had me in them. That was one of the reasons.
You had some failures, Dan.
But mine was, I mean, what was it? 6 before offended.
Can you remember it?
You know, yeah. I've got. We had Bob and Weave. That was a clothing business. We're trying to sell clothes.
Good name.
Fashionable clothing into MMA and boxing. But MMA and boxing people don't give a fuck about fashion, so it's pointless. They're all in my dad's loft still, I think, in boxes. Second one was I believe that was War Balm. That was where I made Vaseline in my kitchen for fighters with sensitive skin. Again, fighters don't give a fuck about sensitive skin, pointless. Then I did the New You card, discount card, but just, there was no real unique selling points to it. What else did I do? Then Vonkel, which is an app where you could, a video app for young people applying for jobs. I did the fucking, what was the next one? Then I started making random apps. So I did the Rail, which was like a TK Maxx online. Only it was just shit. It was basically all the older Bob and Weave stuff. Anything else I could get my hands on. I did what was the next one? Oh, Random Pet. So my idea was to do an app where you can, if you go on it, you can get discounted pet products for your pet. But because I wasn't good enough at coding, I hadn't figured it out. It was just like a random. You pressed it and it gave you a random pet item. Wow. And I thought I just can't get past this. I'm not smart enough, and I can't pay anyone to do it. So I'll just call it Random Pet. So if you might have a dog, but you like press it, and it like hamster fucking underpants would come up, 10% off. Pointless again. And then the last one was where I really lost the plot, and that was where I managed to code this little character that was a little chicken, and you could just kind of tap it. But it was a random thing again, and depending on how many times you petted this chicken. Eventually it'd lay an egg, and inside the egg would be some sort of prize, like a Sports Direct voucher or something like that. But again, so
would people pay for that app? So people would pay for
that? No, it was completely free. I didn't.
Where did you make your money then?
I didn't. That's the point. which is why most businesses fail, by the way, because they don't make any money or cash flow's fucking shit. Which is, and then luckily, I came up with Offended and met Dean, who is an actual real business person. And we started making money.
I've seen people say that the reason why they die is the passion goes in the founders or the money runs out. Right. And I think that's probably like the top of the funnel answer is that, isn't it? It's like, have you run out of money or your passion for that idea runs out? I just think there's a lot of shit ideas. And I think a lot of people have been told or sold the dream that they need to escape the 9 to 5 and set up their own business. Like, a lot of people aren't cut out for running their own business.
It's not. I mean, we had a chat recently where we did kind of one-to-ones, and one of our members of staff were moving towards being a director of the business, but we explained the differences between being a head of in a business and being an actual shareholder director of a business, and what that actually entails in terms of pay, in terms of if the business doesn't perform well and all the rest of it. And to be fair to her, her face was like, she couldn't believe like the ups and downs and struggles of it, and it's not just a constant steady income. And just because you're a shareholder, you don't suddenly earn loads of money. And you might be a shareholder, but there's a good chance that any liabilities are on your head as well if it fucks up. And then at the same time, it might never sell, so you're never going to make those millions that you thought you were going to make. You just got shares in something that might just collapse one day. And kind of the realities of it were kind of lost on her. And it's only natural because she's never done it before. She's never been there. She's never been in a business. She's never tried to start a business. She had no clue what any of that entailed. But it was a huge shock to her.
Yes, Mike got into a bit of a disagreement with someone on Twitter talking about something similar, where this guy's saying anybody can be, if they have the right support and time, anybody can become an entrepreneur, and you kind of took
bollocks.
Yeah, and it's you've got to define what entrepreneur is. Now, if entrepreneur is just can set up a business, well, any idiot can jump on Company's house and set up a business, right, for a few quid. But actually being a successful entrepreneur, I think not everybody can do this. I don't think it's something that everybody can do. No. There are some people that can't ask for money. Processes aren't very good at. The admin, they're terrible at. But then also there's the other stuff where it's like, other people are relying on you to know all the answers to stuff. Like you might have, if you've got 5 members of staff, you've got 5 mortgages to pay before you can pay yourself, or you kind of take on everybody else's problems as well. I think there's a lot more to it than just anybody can be an entrepreneur. And I think anybody that's pushing that narrative, they're probably selling something which is join my group and you can be an entrepreneur. Like, I think that's the only reason they're saying it, because
anyone who's really done it is never going to tell you that, because it's fucking nonsense. It's probably the hardest fucking journey. It's a ball ache. It's stressful. You know, there aren't many ups and downs and breakdowns and all sorts of fucking shit. That
for a lot of people, being a well-paid employee is probably less stressing and a happier life and easier life than running a business doing the same thing. Even.
Yeah, I think it's quite a dangerous message to say anybody can be.
I think so. And when people say, "Oh, with the right support," it's like, so how much support can you give one person to achieve that goal? You know, I think it's an awful lot. So I don't think you can do that at scale either. I think if you want to, or you think you could have run your own business and you think you're cut out for this entrepreneur life, just go and work in a very early stage startup. And I would say go and work there for maybe 2 years, a bit like national service in the old days. Go and work in a startup for 2 years, ideally in the industry that you want to set up a business in.
Yeah, definitely.
So and then you're getting paid to learn. And I guarantee that after the end of 2 years, it would probably have put a lot of people that thought they could have done it off
100%.
than would do it. So that's my advice for anyone that wants to be an entrepreneur. But I don't think anyone can be an entrepreneur.
You had any failures, Mike?
In business? Well, I'll take Learning Heroes as an example. So Learning Heroes was the business that myself and Ian had, and it did quite well. Originally, we were going to try and sell, so it was online training courses, and originally we tried to partner with like websites like Monster and recruitment companies, and it was for anybody that was going to a job interview that might have failed. We wanted the recruiters to sell them access to these courses to help improve the candidate so they'd have a better chance of success at the next interview. That was the thought process, right? And we were going to charge these candidates £40. We got a partnership with Monster, and they sent out an email shot to 1.1 million candidates. We only had something like 11 inquiries off that. And I think we might have closed like 4 or 5 sales. It was terrible. That would have been a failure. But what we realized is we were targeting the wrong person with the wrong proposition. We could only sell 4 or 5 of that product at 40 quid. None of us would have made a successful business doing that. So we were targeting the wrong person with the wrong thing. As soon as we then started to target somebody else and put a $5,000, $10,000 price tag on that product, we sold 340 of them, which is mad, isn't it? So that the same business idea, we couldn't sell for 40 quid. But we could then take it and just slightly change it and then target somebody else, and we could sell it for between 5 and 10 grand a year.
Different businesses have this. It's the same with us. Like a lot of what we do is just the creative element. So we don't muck about with paid campaigns, don't do any of that shit. But if you when we were going to small businesses and startups and things like that are expecting big returns, just doing some creative and giving them a creative campaign isn't enough. If it's not being put down the right channels, if it's not got the right strategy behind it, if it's not got the right paid specialist behind it, it's probably going to fall on its ass, right? So what we found that actually going to medium-sized to enterprise businesses, we're a lot more successful with that because they already have those elements in-house. What they don't have in-house a lot of the time, very good ones in-house, is the creatives, the good ideas, the things that are actually going to make that budget go further. And that's where our ideal. So when we were going in trying to sell it, it was either not going well or it was fucking falling on its ass. People were getting pissed off, expecting us to be their entire marketing team for fucking $2,000 a month. Nonsense. The big boys, it's more suited. It suits their processes. It suits the structure they've already got in place. And I suppose it's the same with any business, isn't it? You've got what is it? Pivoting. That's a fashionable word, isn't it?
It's recognize when to quit.
When to quit.
It's not always a bad thing.
Learning Heroes would have failed if we'd carried on down that route, I feel. But equally, we pivoted, and then it was like target the affluent. And as soon as you start targeting, so that could have been a failure. But there's been, we nearly failed during lockdown when we were doing, we were making videos for people. We weren't
Habits as well.
Habits. It was like
cease and desist.
We weren't making much money on. Well, we weren't making any money. We were actually losing money when you actually worked out how long it was taking to do stuff for people, which is a shit business model. If we're not making any money, let's carry on doing it for another month. Maybe it changes.
I did that 6 times, mate.
But you missed out your homemade whey protein.
Oh, I did. Fucking hell, yeah. Yeah, give me protein. I still think there's something in that. protein subscription
Subscription-based protein service. I remember this.
I thought it'd be fucking. But the mistake there was getting whey liquid off a farmer. I don't think that many people will fail businesses because of that. That's just me.
Do you think it's because you didn't do enough market research? Jumped in too quick.
Yeah,
I've got a business idea. I think it's going to work. You jump in, you throw some money at it.
100%, mate. I don't think I researched any of those those businesses. I just
we had a chat.
Great idea.
But what you've done there, Dan, I think you might, from an outsider looking in, right, is you've gone, I like going to the gym. I like doing MMA. This is the environment I'm surrounded by. So it's almost like, what can I shoehorn into my passion?
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the biggest mistakes people make with businesses.
100%. Yeah.
Follow your passion is like stupid. It's nice if you can get paid and monetize and make a career business out of your passion. But I've always looked at it a different way, which is do whatever it takes to give you enough free time and money to do your passions and the stuff that you enjoy. Like
100%.
I didn't have a passion for online learning. I didn't give a fuck about e-learning essentially, but the model was right. The sector was ripe to be disrupted. Yeah. And I knew that we had a sort of 3-4 year plan where we could build that business the plan was 10 million and sell it. And then I'd have enough money in my pocket to actually do the things that I was passionate about, which was invest in property. Yeah. That was literally it. It was just my vehicle to supply me enough money to do the things I was interested in.
Who was it who said that if you want to build a successful business, don't do the thing you're passionate about. Find something that other people can't stand doing. Yeah. And do that for them. Yeah, you know, like, I don't know. Yeah. Cleaning and there's huge cleaning businesses out there.
What is it? There's gold in shit. Cleaning. There's another thing.
Yeah.
Confucius said that, I think. Another thing I think people have kind of got obsessed with is funding and seed funding and that. Their goal is to just get investment into their business, not realizing that that's day one of your business now. If you get all that funding in, you've now got to do the business. Most people dine out on, we just raised 2 billion, 200 million, 20 million, 2 million in funding. Great. That funding's meant to be so you can now build the business and grow. I would put money on it that if you're spending your own money and it's a bootstrap startup, you will try harder. You'll make better decisions. Yeah. You'll be less wasteful.
If you like me and Dean, and no loan provider or investor in the fucking world will touch you, you have no option but to do it with your own money. But you're a lot more careful with it. We won't just take money out if it's not there.
Believe it or not, this might come as a surprise to you, I actually invested in a female fashion brand many years ago.
Right.
And I invested £30,000 into this business.
Yeah.
And I've not seen a penny or heard from them since, pretty much.
Right. Brilliant.
But they all took a salary.
Yeah, I bet.
They all took a salary.
I bet it was a decent one as well.
Yeah, but then they'd always say to me, like, I don't understand how your business did so well. And I was like, because I wasn't paying myself
crazy
30 grand a year salary. Like, I would pay myself what was in the bank account at the end of the month. After all the costs have been stripped out. So I pay myself £350 a month for a few months. Yeah. You've all gone, oh, there's 3 grand. No, it doesn't matter if we sell anything or we get this into big retail shops. Yeah. Because they're taking the salary. So there's no urgency. Yeah. And I believe that was one of the reasons why it failed. And it was pretty cool as well. It was like if you were pregnant and you had a C-section, trying to sell it for him now, help him out. Right. There was like aloe vera in the fabric and it would help with the healing process and stuff like that. I thought it was quite cool.
What happens when you wash the clothes? Does aloe vera come out?
Oh, I don't know.
That's why it failed.
That's why it failed.
Right, was that one wash and it's just a normal t-shirt?
One wash. But yeah, no, so it was to compete with like Sweaty Betty. It was for like affluent sort of business type women. It was quite interesting. Cool. I won't say the name. Insider trading. Buy the shares, please, so I can get my money back. But yeah, no, so that was, but I always think I think if they didn't have investors, that would have been more likely to succeed than, living a year off my money.
100%.
Do you think Offended's been the most successful out of all your startup ideas? You would say it 100% is, right? So do you think that's down to Dean? Or do you think it was a better idea as well? So it was a good idea and you've got a better...
It was a better idea, and it was something that was something that was developed throughout all the other failures as well. So it was something that I developed and became good at, and the brand, and I realised there was a space for it. But in terms of the commercial element of it, that's 100% Dean. Yeah, his mind is a lot more suited to that. And what I realised was because I'd done 6 startups pretty much on my own, by the one I did with my brother, Bob and Weave, which, to be fair to him, the guy sold it into all sorts of stores and all sorts of places. But the element that is different there is Dean. So yeah, I might be the ideas guy, without Dean's commercial business brain, the ideas mean nothing.
Yeah, I think that's why, like we work. I think our skill sets dovetail each other. Is that right? Our skill sets dovetail each other.
I think the models. If I was to start a business now, I wouldn't start a nice to have business. I'd be selling something that is a must have and using our marketing and sales techniques now to just own that space.
So would you say model first is more important than follow your passion?
Yeah, model and product first rather than follow your passion.
It's interesting, isn't it? 'Cause that's the counter advice to what a lot of these people would say.
Yeah, I think people tend to do what they like. Like I used to sit after work and try and list out all these business ideas that you'd want to do. Like one of them was like shit hot curry was one, and drawing it all out on the livery of the van and everything. And he was going to drive around delivering curry, and he's like, "It's a terrible idea." But I think that's all right.
You know, one of my shit ideas. I had this idea.
Like a pun on diarrhea, to be honest.
Right, so I had this business idea, which was going to be, like white van man, like a white van man, but it was going to be the white tan man.
Right.
Or the white tan van. And it was going to be basically, it was going to be like mobile, like beauty spa. So you'd go in and you could do your nails in there. You could have all your tan done. It would like pull up on your drive. You'd get in and it was going to be this idea. Anyway, I researched it and there was somebody that was converting vans to do this. And I was thinking franchise it all over the country. Thanks for watching the Views My Own podcast. If this is your first time here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your comments below. And also, we've got an online community that helps you improve your marketing, get better at sales, and make your business a little less shit. Click the link in the description.